The end of the global network? Israel has just liquidated the de facto leader of Iran. Tehran is cornered and ready to press the red button of a digital apocalypse. The world's internet is in the crosshairs. We are one step away from the information Middle Ages. Betrayal in the White House. Trump is accused of working for foreign interests, and is the 80-year alliance with Japan coming to an end? Washington sets an ultimatum. Cuba the 51st state or a new war zone? The president of the island of freedom is preparing for war with the United States, and Trump announces the hunt, "I will take it for myself." Everything you missed in 5 minutes. This is GIN News, distilling the truth. Let's go. While the eyes of the entire world are fixed on the Middle East, the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, has just dropped a new information bomb. His next target is Cuba. Speaking to the press, Trump made a stunning statement, and I quote, "I believe I will have the honor of taking Cuba. I can free it or just take it. I think I can do whatever I want with it." The President of the United States made it clear. Washington is only waiting for the completion of operations in Iran to permanently resolve the issue of the island of freedom. But the situation in Cuba itself has long since crossed the line of catastrophe. The island is sinking into a true Middle Ages. For the second week in a row, the country has been living under a total blackout without light, fuel, or basic food. The economic collapse of 2026 has proven so deep that even in the capital, Havana, ATMs have completely stopped working. Citizens have no access to cash, and the only way to survive has become currency exchange through semi-legal mobile applications and street dealers. Against the backdrop of Trump's threats and internal chaos, Cuban leader Miguel Díaz-Canel announced readiness for war. His government, which almost no longer controls the mass political protests in the streets, insists Cuba will fight the Americans to the last. However, considering that daily economic losses are already calculated in tens of millions of dollars, the question arises, will Havana withstand even the first strike? The world is on the brink of an unprecedented digital collapse. While military actions within Operation Epic Fury gain momentum, Tehran is preparing a strike that could turn off the normal lives of billions of people for months. According to our intelligence data, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is planning sabotage on undersea internet cables in the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea. This is not just a local threat. More than 17% of all global internet traffic passes through these highways. The scale of the catastrophe is hard to overestimate. In the event of an attack, popular services, banking systems, and government platforms around the world will simply crash down, leaving entire continents in total isolation. But why did Iran decide on such a radical step right now? The answer came straight from the heart of Tehran, where a true political earthquake occurred. Iran has officially confirmed the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Ali Larijani, was liquidated as a result of a precision Israeli airstrike on Tehran. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz called him the de facto leader of Iran following the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. Also killed was the commander of the Basij, Gholamreza Soleimani. This is a devastating blow to the Iranian leadership and their military alliance with the Kremlin. Panic reigns in the corridors of power in Tehran. High-ranking officials admit they do not know who will be the next target. And this is where the greatest danger lies. As it is known, a cornered beast is the most dangerous. Having lost control over oil and its leaders, the regime is turning the global network into an instrument of final revenge. Threats to blow up the cables are an act of despair by a regime in agony. They are ready to burn the digital arteries of the world, which will lead to the loss of billions of dollars every hour just to stop their own collapse. The world could plunge into an information Middle Ages while engineers try to restore the connection under the sights of Iranian missiles. Will Tehran dare to press the red button of the digital apocalypse? We are monitoring the situation in real time. This is GIN News. We distill the truth from the unnecessary. Subscribe to stay informed, and we move on. While American missiles rewrite the map of the Middle East, the first cracks have appeared in Washington itself. March 2026 brought the first voluntary resignation in the administration of Donald Trump, which risks escalating into a major political scandal. The director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, has officially left his post. A veteran and one of Trump's key loyalists resigned due to categorical disagreement with the war against Iran. In his statement, Kent did not mince words, calling Operation Epic Fury a strategic mistake. I quote Joe Kent, "I cannot with a clean conscience support the current war in Iran. Iran did not pose an immediate threat to our country. It is obvious that this war was started under pressure from Israel and its influential lobby in the United States. This is the first such direct accusation of dragging the states into a conflict for the sake of third-party interests." The reaction of the 47th President of the United States was not long in coming. Donald Trump stated in his signature style, and I quote, "I didn't need people like that anyway." However, experts note the resignation of the head of counterterrorism in the middle of a war is a disturbing signal for the stability of the entire U.S. security system. Now the picture is complete. The liquidation of Ali Larijani, the threat to the world's internet, and an internal revolt in the White House. The world of 2026 is becoming increasingly unpredictable. Will Trump be able to maintain control? Washington is preparing for one of the most difficult summits of 2026. On Thursday, the White House will host Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. But this will not be an ordinary courtesy visit. Donald Trump is preparing an ultimatum that could forever change the alliance of the two nations. Trump's main demand is Japan's direct participation in the war with Iran. The U.S. president is demanding that Tokyo send warships to the Strait of Hormuz. This puts Sanae Takaichi in an extremely dangerous position. On one side is Japan's pacifist constitution. On the other side is 90% of Japanese oil. Trump is acting aggressively. He has already hinted, if Japan wants protection, it must pay with its participation. At stake is the fate of 50,000 American troops and a U.S. carrier strike group. Trump is using these forces as a lever of pressure to extract billions of dollars in new investments. The situation inside Japan is critical. Polls show that less than 10% of Japanese support the attacks. Sanae Takaichi is forced to balance. She wants access to the Golden Dome air defense systems, but participating in the war could cost her political career. Experts note Trump wants to make an example of Japan. If Japan says no, the 80-year alliance could simply fall apart. Will the Japanese Iron Lady withstand the pressure? We will find out this Thursday. And finally, news from a parallel reality where there are no resignations, protests, or doubts. While Washington is stormed by political divisions, absolute stability reigns in Pyongyang. Kim Chen-in has officially won another crushing victory in the elections in North Korea. According to official data, he received 99.93% of the votes. Voter turnout was almost 100%. It seems Kim is the only politician in 2026 who is not threatened by blackouts, collapses, or resignations. Perhaps the secret is that in North Korea, the against button simply does not exist. Those were all the main events up to this hour. We monitor the world so you can see its true face. Subscribe and see you soon.